If you're driving, please remember to use your car's Bluetooth speaker while listening to the AM Drive. Sports talk is not worth your safety or the safety of others.
Grab your popcorn and sit back.
Jump the gun. Oh, no, give me more than that. Okay, go this way. That was dumb. We are.
How could I tell you when nobody wants to? You'll fade the words I will choke.
Happy Fantasy Draft Friday to everyone in the sports universe. It is July the 28th, 2023. For Aaron Crouch, I am Michael Carbellis. Aaron, how has your wild sports week been, sir?
Hi, Michael.
Hey, buddy.
It has been a news-filled week. I will say that. We've got everything going on in almost all the sports. Football training camps back. Colorado's moving. In college football. Baseball's back from the All-Star break with the trade deadline. Basketball may be the quietest sport right now, with the exception of one superstar's son. But it seems like we've just got a little bit of action in all the sports right now, which is surprising to say at the end of July, because usually it's just trade deadline talk.
Yeah, a little bit of hashtag Sammy action, if you will.
There you go. Shout out Sammy action.
Woo! We are presented by MikeandAaronDrive.com. Support our show by shopping our sponsors using promo codes, buying our merch, and more. The best coast-to-coast Mike and Aaron morning show. The only coast-to-coast Mike and Aaron morning show.
That's going to be true because we say it's true. And if you saw it on the internet, it has to be true.
FYI, I was looking for my Twitter to retweet the live show. I was like, where's that? Oh, it's the X. Okay, good.
Mine still says Twitter.
Yeah, my laptop says X, but apparently people's phones are slowly updating Twitter. I thought I would get it early, but I didn't.
Yeah, no, I guess we're not the fortunate ones, but I don't know. I don't know how I like X, but I don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
We'll be all right. Health scare, Bronny James. So this one, Aaron, hear me out. Initially, this hit me like, and I know this is going to sound bad in hindsight, the Kobe tragedy. And the reason I say that is because LeBron never gets hurt. His son is up next. They're going to play together. It's literally laser etched in stone. So when I first heard this, he had suffered cardiac arrest. I'm like, whoa. It felt pretty rough. I was like, oh my, this is not happening. Like, what's happening to you? Like, who did LeBron sell his soul to? Now, let me shut up. But it was not a good feeling. I'm glad he went home, I'd say, rather quickly based on my limited knowledge of the cardiovascular stuff. I'm sure both of us are not great in that. But depending on the severity, I'm wondering, though, if LeBron retires. And for people saying, well, what are you talking about? Michael Jordan's dad got killed, and he took off 2 years. LeBron's way older than Jordan was. So I just want to throw that out there. There's a possibility. We haven't heard any speculation because maybe it's not the right time, but I don't even know if LeBron's going to come back because his last thing he wanted to do was play with his son.
Right, but it's not like his son's career is over at this point. I mean,
right. People are saying that, but I don't think I agree with you.
It looks like all systems go in sense of, LeBron James Jr., Bronny seems like he's okay at this point. It just seems like without knowing more or any kind of, potential habitual problems here, it seems like it was a one-off. I mean, what's that?
A nothing burger.
A nothing burger. Well, I don't want to ever say that cardiac arrest is a nothing burger because that's your life, friend. I don't see a world where this is enough to, if his last goal, so to speak, is to play with his son, this doesn't seem like enough because this isn't a career ender for him.
I like that. And by the way, did you see USC has had 2 players in the last 365 days have this happen to them. I think it's also random coincidence, but it is interesting to think about. Like maybe they're running them too hard. I don't know.
So this seems strange that all of these, in shape young athletes are falling apart. I don't know what it is, but it's not normal. Like we have situations that happen from time to time. You have Corey Stringer, who didn't come out. We have, other guys who have suffered cardiac arrest on the field. We obviously have the DeMar Hamlin situation. But it seems lately that this is more and more common with people who are in better shape than people who you would think would be suffering cardiac arrests lately. What can you attribute to that?
I hope you're not going down the road I think you are, because
it doesn't matter.
I saw millions of comments about that crap.
It doesn't matter what road I'm going down. I'm not going down a road at all. But the fact of the matter is this is very uncommon for today's society. And whether it is the road you think you want to go down, or you think people are going down, or if it's just the road of just what we eat nowadays.
I was going to say also, like, we think we're so ready, like with these athletes. I think we're jumping ahead of the gun on this, like in terms of like, oh, we've got the best health in now, because like guys are missing more time than ever. I feel like it's a big experimental process. And a lot of these kids are playing at way younger ages too. Like, and to be fair, the human body cannot take being an athlete. Like, eventually everybody breaks down. Some break down way earlier. Ask Luke Kuechly. Like, the human body is not supposed to withstand this stuff. So I wonder if it was too early, too often for LeBron James' son. Because obviously LeBron didn't start playing basketball at that young an age, most likely. It is interesting.
Right.
I think LeBron started off Bronny probably from when he was a little kid.
Yeah, but I mean, we've all done that. I mean, if I was a talented athlete, you could have said I've been starting since I was 5. I played baseball since I was 5 years old. I mean, my knees, I was a catcher all the way up until college.
That's rough.
And my knees probably have paid the price for it the rest of my life. I can only imagine people older than me. But point being is that it's not uncommon for these things to happen, but the numbers are spiking, and it's easy to just brush these things under the rug than to actually look. And studies have actually shown in the limited time we've had these, and I'll go down this road. I know you don't. In the limited time we've had these vaccines, studies have shown an increase in myocarditis that has existed. And that's basically a cardiac arrest is what he went through. So whether or not you want to correlate it, it's fine. But the fact of the matter is we haven't had a string of athletes like this. I mean, the many athletes that are in great shape, a lot of bodybuilders who aren't taking steroids are passing away. I mean, it's time to actually look and just stop sweeping things under the rug as freak accidents. I don't think we live in a society of freak accidents. I don't think we live in a society of coincidence anymore.
And I have like heard that like doctors have pretty much confirmed that it does cause different heart problems for different people. But it's also like the side effects. It's like those drugs you see on like TV. It's like it may cause this, it may cause that, but we don't take those off the shelves. We don't go into an uproar every time something happens to somebody who takes those drugs.
Well, a lot of times
it's solving a bigger problem.
But the side effects from those drugs aren't heart failure or cardiac arrest.
Are you sure about that?
I'm 99% sure. Otherwise, they wouldn't let those things be on the FDA. Wouldn't approve of those.
Well, you've heard like the may cause this, may cause death.
It's like nausea, vomiting. The Pepto-Bismol.
What about internal bleeding? That happens.
It does again, and that is something that you weigh the risks versus rewards, and when you're taking situations. We didn't really have time to weigh the risks and rewards of these because
I was saying it's to your point. It's almost like they didn't study it enough, which is ironic.
Yeah, and again, I don't have a need to go down any rabbit hole because it doesn't matter to me. Like for myself, I've taken the jab. If something's going to happen, I can't get this stuff out of my body.
Right. I mean, I took 2 of them. I didn't do the boosters and all that stuff. But regardless of that. I feel like,
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took the 2.
Yeah, I feel like there is some weight to that. And I feel like it is a conversation that has to be had. Because I know like a lot of people that say are like just saying it just to be political, but in terms of like the actual conversation, I do think maybe young athletes should have been studied before they just randomly started taking it, because they do exert themselves more than we do, just sitting on our butts or doing whatever we do. Like we don't keep on sweating excessively without hydration sometimes. So I feel like it is a conversation that will probably be had, but not until the political landscape dies down, which it won't.
And maybe it's too late to have that conversation because you've either gotten the jab or you're not going to get it. So at this point in time, and maybe there's something in there that, because I don't have the studies in front of me, but there's not a lot of out of shape or people who aren't athletes just tipping over and dying and tipping over. So maybe there's something like you said that with high intensity exercise or sports, it triggers something.
All right. It's not. It's not like a far-fetched idea, but I think it could be a thing, based on, of course, our limited knowledge. Once again, I just hope LeBron. I hope Bronny gets back. That's obviously the end goal here. I hope it doesn't affect him too much. Although it's cardiac freaking arrest, but I hope that he can get back pretty quickly.
Yeah, and to be fair, and this isn't a dig at Bronny James, but cardiac arrest means many things. You're from a regular heartbeat, skipping a beat, all the way up to full-blown heart attack. So we don't know the extent of it, and if he was out within 24 hours, it's probably on the lower end anyways. So,
right, which is good.
Yeah,
good.
Absolutely.
It's good for anybody. I don't want to just exclusivize Bronny James here.
No, but we're talking about it because of him. So,
but never mind. Colorado is back to the Big 12. And I think the Pac-12 commissioner, from an article I was briefly reading, was kind of blindsided by this, or didn't really know what he was talking about when I read some quotes. It doesn't look good for the Pac-9. So what do you got for us, Aaron?
Yeah, so basically what this means to the Pac-12, or whatever they're going to determine themselves, is they're dissolving as a Power 5 conference at this point. And it's not to say we haven't seen it, but I think the big surprise is we all believed it would be the Big 12 that would be the one to dissolve, because Texas and Oklahoma were leaving. And where's everybody going to go? Well, the Pac-12, Big 10, etc. We can scoop all these these good teams. And well, Pac-12 kind of sat on its hands, and now they're staring down the barrel of 3 of their major programs. I know Colorado doesn't sound like a major program, but they were once a storied national championship winning program. Oh, and don't forget, who's the head coach at Colorado?
My leg!
Mr. Primetime Deion Sanders. Can you imagine, having, Deion come into your program, you're ready to, sell tickets, sell Deion Sanders as, a college football coach, and he gone. But I'm looking at the Big Ten right now, and it's like in a couple of years, talk about the who's who of coaches. Ryan Day, Jim Harbaugh, Lincoln Riley, Deion Sanders, Chip Kelly, Matt Rule. Come on, that's a who's who on top of anybody I've even missed at that point. And you still have like Kirk Ferentz and others, but it's not as big for the Big 12 as it is big for the loss for the Pac-12, if that makes sense.
Agreed. It's like the one team win a game or one team lose a game. I agree with that, because really the Pac-12 -3, I want to harp on their marketing. I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but it does not help when every single year, I don't care if they're West Coast or not, Aaron. I know you've said that, like, Shohei goes to the Yankees, he won't. But if Shohei goes to the Yankees, you'll know about him. But to me, it's like we've also harped on baseball for marketing. So the Pac-12, year after year after year after year, having to be the midnight squad on the Eastern Coast, it's almost like the commissioner and their people are not doing a very good job. And the fact that you said it's like they were sitting on their hands. Oh, by the way, we've lost 3 major teams. Now we're in trouble. Does it seem like they were more blindsided by this than they should have been?
I think they were blindsided by Colorado, simply because it's like, you feel like what Colorado has done since it's entered the Pac-12 has basically just been a latch. They haven't done anything football-wise. And as far as basketball, I don't think they've been very good either. And I don't want to trickle down all the sports here and try to figure out where they're good because it doesn't matter after those two. Really.
Oh, never mind.
I don't think the Pac-12 is super upset about losing specifically Colorado. I think it's just the fact that it's a third team in less than 18 months. Losing USC and UCLA is crazy because they went all the way to the Big Ten, which is basically a Midwest, Northeast regional conference. But the money is so prevalent and so huge, not only in the Big Ten, but just college football in general, that these two California teams are okay doing it. Now, will the Pac-12 dissolve? I don't know. You still have Oregon. You still have Utah. You know, do those teams matter to the East Coast? No, not really. Oregon's, their uniform's cool, and they used to be flashy to watch under Chip Kelly and, you know, others. But I'll say this. I don't know. I don't know if there's anything the West Coast teams, leagues, and that's not just college football. I don't know if there's anything they can do that makes the East Coast care. And saying this, just having the experience of living on both coasts, when I was on the East Coast, I wasn't staying up. When I started gambling, I stayed up to watch games. But other than that, I wasn't staying up to watch a UCLA game or a
Unless you were sort of like me who just loves sports like it's not even funny. So,
I mean, I do love sports, but at the same time, like I had my fill for the day, especially in college. You had your whole day's worth of sports, and then
it starts at 11:30 sometimes in the morning.
Yeah, so you know, it's almost impossible. I mean, look, like you said, Shohei. You know, Shohei is a different animal in terms of, I mean, he doesn't speak English, so it's hard to market him. It is what it is. You know, it's not that people dislike him. It's just like he's not a relatable character to the majority of the country. Mike Trout doesn't want to be marketed. He just wants to clock in, play baseball, and clock out. He's just done. So it's a feature that it's just always kind of baffled me. It's just I don't know if there's anything the West Coast can do to really market to the East Coast people, because when games come on at 10, it's not that they wouldn't watch the first couple of innings. It's just I'm not committing to going to bed at 1 o'clock when the game's over. 7 what? You want to put them on early? Then you're going to ruin the competitive. And then you're not even pandering to your West Coast people. We're not watching games at 4 o'clock.
Yes, you are. On Saturday, you are.
Sure. If we're talking college football, absolutely. I mean, if we're talking just
right.
I mean, they're not putting the Warriors, you know, basketball games on at 4 o'clock. Nobody can get to the game.
Good point. It is what it is. I hope Dion can turn this thing around because he talks a lot, and it would be great if he turned it around. Because if not, Sean Payton. But we'll talk about that later. Question for you. Speaking of LeBron earlier, does Mbappe's "I want to be a billionaire" dollar contract create a Saudi takeover in the 4 major sports? And by the way, in case you think this is a nothing burger, LeBron James, the day his son was suffering a cardiac arrest of sorts, he was tweeting out, "I wouldn't mind going over there if I just let," you know, obviously it was a joke, but Aaron, can money buy these things?
I think money can. Everyone has a price.
And that's a big price.
To be fair, at this juncture, Mbappe hasn't accepted, although I don't know how you walk away from it's not really $1 billion. The collective, it's $750 million plus the transfer fee, which is over $300 million.
Oh, poor thing.
Well, it doesn't go to Mbappe, is what I'm saying. That goes to the club. My point being is that this collective $1 billion agreement, like this public investment fund, is absolutely incredible, and I don't mean that in a good way. I just mean incredible, like unbelievable how much money sits in this fund. But this doesn't shock me that if the Saudis, I mean, there was really true rumblings. I don't know if the NFL owners would have approved it, but there were rumblings that this Saudi investment fund was interested in the Commanders. Was interested in the Commanders. Now, if there's anybody,
it would be the Redskins if that happened.
I was gonna say, if there's anybody who's gonna change it back to the Redskins, it would be the Saudi Public Investment Fund.
Oh my God!
at some point, when does the stone drop? I mean, that these guys are actually involved. Like, who's the owner that actually, I mean, Dan Snyder would have been, but who's the owner that actually sells their franchise to the Saudis? I mean, I can't think of
Jerry.
But it wouldn't shock me if it was a baseball or a hockey team that first did it. Simply for the revenue.
The Nashville Predators.
Yeah, I mean that's not crazy to think, but like I would say more like the Arizona Coyotes.
No, I was going to say that one too.
Yeah,
they need a stadium.
It wouldn't shock me if like I know it's not a sexy splash if the Saudis were trying to get in the four majors, but just to get your foot in the door of the four major sports. I mean, obviously, any sports owners would have to vote this in, and I'm curious, if we're greasing palms here, hey, I'll throw you an extra $500 million. You vote yes.
I mean,
everyone.
I don't have a price on my body, but if I did, that would be one of them.
I'm just saying. I mean, every owner I understand is a multimillionaire to billionaire, but it's hard to blanket $500 million in your pocket for doing nothing, basically.
I was going to say, foot in the door, machine gun in hand. Let me shut up.
As much as I wouldn't say supported Live Golf, but I have not antagonized Live Golf. I do believe, and I'll say this, I do believe if Saudi interference comes to the four major sports, it's a dangerous game.
How dangerous, Aaron?
Well, I don't want to believe that our country can be infiltrated by simply putting money in the pockets of people who don't need it. But it's the world we live in at this point. There is a game being played above you and I that we're just not privy to. And there's a lot
I'll say it again. Jeffrey Epstein
did not kill himself.
Please resurrect yourself.
Come
back.
Yeah, this show's gotten way too political. We're off the spectrum here.
No, but by the way, I was going to ask you about a sports-related thing. Back to the Saudis, political. I was going to ask you. You say that there could be a price, especially when the price is like B in front of instead of an M. And I wonder, can we talk about Live Golf and all these guys joined, and now it's like the Live Golf kind of like bought in with the PGA or whatever. I don't think anyone watched Live Golf. I mean, I know all these guys went over there, so I was like, oh, crap. But eventually they just had a handshake deal, and like, I know it's a dangerous game to play, but was that really as big of a deal as we made it, as people made it at the time?
So,
now in hindsight, it's over.
In hindsight, it is over, but the Saudis own the PGA.
That's because whatever faces a loser, whatever that commissioner is for the PGA.
Yeah. I mean, the Saudis currently own a major, I wouldn't say a major, they own a sports league.
Oh, it's like the NLL. If the NLL was bought with the Saudis, this is how I would feel. So I feel your pain over there.
I don't know if it's pain necessarily. The thing is what is the plan, I think is what a lot of people are saying. Because since the handshake deal has gone down, nothing has changed at this point. They were talking about a merger, and it really.
A merger? Oh, you said merger. Okay.
A merger, yes. Merger.
Sorry.
Nothing has happened yet. So, I mean, I don't know if this is the only thing that's really happened is Greg Norman's gone.
Good.
He got his buyout and he's gone. But so we'll have to.
By the way, let me shut up.
What's that?
Is he missing?
No, he's just took his buyout.
I love this show, by the way.
Okay.
This show cracks me up, man.
The situation with Mbappe's contract is basically like if the NBA or if the Saudis wanted to create a basketball league or any league for that matter, what happens when people don't care about this in the States, but like if Patrick Mahomes went and headlined a Saudi league for $1 billion, like when will people realize that this has the potential to be a bigger impact than just saying just the basic conversation of, whoa, you see that guy take $1 billion? Like, no, this could be bigger than that. Not yet, but it could be. So
I'm glad you mentioned that because one of my final talking points was we haven't seen a football league really succeed unless it was like the XFL giving their good players away, or the USFL doing the same. If there's a Saudi football league, I guarantee you those players ain't coming back to the NFL, pal.
Well, I tell you what, you just mentioned it, something I didn't really think about. What if the Saudis just buy the XFL?
In The Rock would catch a lot of flack for that, but I could see him doing it.
But The Rock, I don't think, would partner with him. I think he'd just buy out.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, yes, shoot, how much money sold?
Because Rock has to maintain that squeaky image.
He is squeaky, by the way.
But if the Saudis bought XFL, and they probably could get it for, I wouldn't say pennies on the dollar, but not not much. You're right. If they start bringing these guys, especially if they start bringing all these running backs who are underpaid, we could have something.
Yo, the running back Saudi football league, that'd be great.
No passing, all running.
Ooh, that's like the old days. Good Lord.
They on 1 year, $100 million contract.
That felt good. Andrew Thomas wouldn't get his the next day. I'll guarantee you that. Okay, Shohei. If he had left, I would have said, show na na na. Show na na na. Hey, good. Okay, but he didn't. He's staying. What? Trade deadline over?
No, August 1st.
Dang it. He's still staying put.
But the Angels have said that he ain't going anywhere. And rightfully so. There's just not a deal in place. And I think I said there's not a deal in place where you ever feel like you got the better end of it if you're the Angels.
Yeah. If you ain't fleecing them, then there's no point.
I mean, even if you took Shohei Ohtani for Aaron Judge straight up, you still didn't. I don't think you won.
Not straight up.
I'm just saying, like, there's no. I mean, okay, how about Shohei for Garrett Cole and Aaron Judge?
And a first rounder, yes.
It's hard.
It's tough, man. I mean, you don't think baseball has a lot of draft rounds?
They do, but you can't trade draft picks.
Why?
That's just the MLB's rule. They've always had.
This is why. I was playing MLB The Show 23. I traded for Giancarlo Stanton. Hit 2 home runs his first game. But regardless of the fact, I'm like, why can't I trade draft picks? I can't find them. Now I know.
Yeah, you can't trade draft picks in the MLB.
Rats. Sucks, dude. Any last words on the show? Hey.
Yeah, he did. We didn't even talk about it. I mean, to pitch a one-hitter in game 1 and then to come back in game 2 of the doubleheader and hit 2 home runs, that's just unprecedented. And it's absolutely.
I think he's better than Babe Ruth, to be fair.
Is he better than? I mean, I never saw Babe Ruth, so
doesn't matter.
So I mean, yeah, I think he is. I mean, is he going to be? I don't know. Actually, now that I say it, because
competition.
Eventually, Babe stopped pitching, so it's hard. And Shohei will never catch 714 home runs. There's no doubt he won't catch that. But if you look at his batting numbers, he's absolutely incredible. But if you actually take a minute and look at Shohei's pitching numbers, he's a mid to a high middle tier pitcher. He's not great.
I mean, he's had some gems though.
I mean, he did throw a one-hitter, but I mean, guys throw one-hitters all the time. Guys throw no-hitters. But
he Ks 10, I feel like every other game, it feels like.
Nah, I don't know about that. But like, if you look at his actual numbers, he's not a Cy Young candidate. He's a step below Cy Young candidate. But
who would that be, like Bud Young or something like that?
But because he does both, he's an automatic MVP just lock. And I don't have a problem with that. But I'm saying if he was just a pitcher, he would not be that great of a pitcher.
That's a fair point. I like that. But the fact he can do them both is kind of nice.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think, last thing I'll say about this is, I'm wondering if he's going to have a Steph Curry effect in the MLB where we see more guys coming up who do both.
I was thinking about that earlier this week. I forgot to tell it to you, so I'm glad you said that. When we come back, we're not any richer from talking about Saudi Arabia and stuff, but that's okay. But it's Joe Burrow, right? But please, I'm on my knees, okay?
I have a price, and it's lower than Mbappe's.
Woo! And when we come back, oh no, Joe Burrow. We'll explain next.
welcome back here to this Fantasy Draft Friday edition of the AM Drive. We are presented by our friends at Agridime. You see that logo on our Mike and Aaron Drive link tree. It looks just like that. It looks pretty. That fanning the cow. Or that's a big slicer. I don't know. But make sure when you go to Agridime, if you want the best in meats and quality meats for this grilling season, make sure you buy everything you can and use code AM Drive for 10% off your order. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah, we do. This is bad. It's not terrible, but it's a calf strain for Joe Burrow, Bengal star, who I may or may not have been drafting in about 25 dynasty leagues, with not the number one pick, obviously. But my fantasy value aside, shout out Trevor Siemian. I've waited to say that name for a long time, but also I think people are kind of like, oh boy, a sigh of relief. Calf strains can linger. They can linger for a while. I feel like, I don't know how bad Karl Anthony Towns' calf injury was, but people were joking that he missed like 3 months, like in the NBA last year because of a calf injury. Like it's almost like it's like the Achilles area. You don't want that thing to be hurting. You don't want it to feel weaker. And I feel like the Bengals, people are like, oh, well, someone was trying to tell me, oh, well, guys get carted off all the time. I don't know about that. I thought this was a nothing burger. I feel like they wouldn't have had to cart him off. This was serious enough that they were that scared because I had heard that he had injured this earlier in the offseason. I'm not sure about that, but it appears that he may have gotten hurt before. Now, like he's re-aggravating something. That's not a good sign.
Yeah, you always have to, I guess, be nervous when it's non-contact. And I know the whole training camp is non-contact, so which makes it very concerning. Don't forget last year at this time he had an appendectomy. So it's like this guy's just a walking operation at this point.
And he had an ACL tear before that. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're right. Absolutely. Until we know more information, it's hard to say just because simply we are a month plus out of the season.
Right.
So Joe Burrow is a kind of a guy who's obviously been involved in the offense. He knows the playbook. So if he were to miss 4 weeks in all of training camp and preseason games, it doesn't like affect me. Like it doesn't, to me, it's not as negative as people want to make it to be. Now, if this is a lingering issue, which we don't know, obviously it could be a problem. If this is an Achilles, it could be a bigger problem.
Yeah, and the reason they're saying calf strain because they probably haven't done anything serious or like checked it out yet. So
I don't, your Achilles is attached to all those calf muscles too. So
yeah, so they just call it a calf strain generically.
Right now, yeah, and I don't know if you remember when Kevin Durant tore his Achilles. When you saw that replay in the finals with the Warriors,
yeah, it didn't look bad at first.
Look, cool. Remember when you could just see his calf just.
Oh,
you saw his calf, those muscles, just like it was like a. I don't know how to explain it, but
right. But I meant like people like sometimes you can pull up on a calf. It's like it doesn't feel like anything. You made it towards something important, like you said.
Yeah. So I mean, right now it's if it is what they say it is kind of a hashtag nothing burger. But what it could be. It is really where the big question mark is, and of course, for the Bengals, I don't know if they have this same belief, but I'm sure their fans believe it is. It feels like it's Super Bowl or bust this year, kind of. No.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of First Things First, where like Nick Wright is like breaking down the contracts. He said Bengals have had to pay a lot of people this year, as well. So it seems like their window's running tight because usually when you pay people, unless you're guys like Patrick Mahomes and he just takes a big, weird team-friendly deal, there could be a problem. Ask Aaron Rodgers, who by the way took a $35 million pay cut, did not make the show. But like Aaron Rodgers for years wanted to get all the money. LeBron James wants to get all the money. Tom Brady takes less and the team wins.
Yeah, but I mean LeBron James has taken all the money before, and his teams have won as well. So. Although when he did win titles, it was when he took less money with the Heatles. So something to think about. I mean, Joe Burrow is one of those guys who has to get paid. So it is curious. I am curious to see, like, if he were to miss significant time with this injury and the Bengals were to have a season that they did not expect to have, would that factor into a quote-unquote hometown discount for Joe Burrow?
I'll do you one better. Are they married to Joe Burrow more than the Ravens were to Lamar Jackson? Because we felt like, I mean, I agree with that, especially with the agent. That plays a big part too, or lack thereof. But I feel like Joe Burrow's loved by the Bengals. Even though Lamar's won 70% of his games, which blows my mind, it's weird how the Bengals are like almost more invested in Joe Burrow. Maybe because he can pass the ball. Oops.
And he also wins games. He wins playoff games. So Joe Burrow, stellar season puts him at $300 million deal. Season like I'm talking about puts him closer to what Justin Herbert received. You know, closer to the, hey, we'll still make you the highest paid player, but it might be $263 million versus $300 million. You know,
I think he'd do that because I haven't seen anything that makes me believe Joe Burrow's a bag chaser. I mean, well, he seems like his ego, but I feel like Joe Burrow would take one for the team. I like he wouldn't drag it out.
Right, and it's crazy to say that, hey, he's taking less money when it's still $265 million. But it's going to be interesting to see how this thing lingers throughout the course of the year. If it does, I don't know. We'll see.
Deal it out. Oh, Sean Payton. Wow. Hey, buddy. So Sean Payton is talking like a guy that got paid a bunch of money. I'd say on the surface, Aaron, I tried to think about this all night. I didn't know, but it sounded like it was a shot at a bunch of people, and it was. Nathaniel Hackett, the Jets, the Broncos GM and president, he said Nathaniel Hackett's performance last season was one of the worst coaching jobs in NFL history, despite winning 5 games. Payton said the Jets are winning the offseason by paying the big names who don't produce, i.e. Aaron Rodgers. And he said everyone in the Broncos organization is accountable. He said Russell Wilson didn't just hit a wall. That's BS. I could see that. But
okay.
What?
No, I just said okay. No, like I agree.
Jets tackle Billy Turner. Who? Exactly. Well, apparently played on the Broncos last year. So on Instagram, among other things, hashtag Bountygate, which I just want to mention I love. Thank you for that. Jets coach Robert Saleh said if you ain't got haters, you ain't popping, hate away, which shows his age and level of coolness. I like that Sean created this media drama, but I hope the Broncos back it up, dude.
That's the thing. I mean, he just put an unnecessary target on his back.
Yep.
And if he likes that, I can dig it. I mean, if you want to talk the talk and walk the walk, I'm 100% for it. And nothing against Sean Payton. I mean, what he's done with some of his teams has been downright remarkable. I mean, we know that. However, I don't think coming into your first year, a new regime with a quarterback who did, let's face it, had a terrible season for his standards and for quarterback standards in general, especially with one making. But why put yourself in that position unnecessarily? It almost felt like you said, he just woke up and chose violence on Nathaniel Hackett of all people. Like, we've moved on. Like, we've moved on a long time ago. He got fired.
The public moved on for sure.
Yeah, and obviously the Broncos fans and the owners have moved on, and
they're excited.
It's just, to me, it's why the Jets? Like, you're in a stacked AFC. You're in a stacked AFC West. And honestly, if you finished in third place this year, nobody would have really been shocked. And if you would have finished in second or first or playoff football, we would have been singing your praises. But now, you better win. You better get in the damn playoffs. And you better, if you play the Jets in the playoffs, you better freaking beat them, because who's their offensive coordinator? Nathaniel Hackett.
Ooh. I'm not a fan of Nathaniel Hackett the way that team was run last year, but also I do have to mention some guys are just coordinators, i.e. Todd Bowles. Nathaniel Hackett could do wonders with the Jets offense because he doesn't have to coach both sides of the ball. I don't know why that is bad for some guys, but whatever. Like Jeff Saturday might be an offensive. Let me shut up. I feel like
some guys are just linemen.
That's right. I feel like Sean Payton. Not a lot of people are talking about my bigger picture, which is, do the GM and president care about this? I know he's sitting back in money right now, like with like leaves like fanning him like the Agridine logo, but it's like all I hear about is the Sean Payton side and then Nathaniel Hackett's and the Jets and the Broncos side. Is president pissed off at you? Like, have you created unnecessary rift in the organization by casually mentioning, well, the president let it go too? You're saying you should have fired the guy earlier? It's a fine line to walk with your prez, sir.
Yeah, I think ultimately upper management's probably okay with what he said because they're trying to, drum up pomp and circumstance ahead of the regular season here, and
Right.
They're down on the Broncos even with the hiring of Sean Payton. I'm not high on the Broncos this year, even with Sean Payton. I don't know that Sean Payton matters that much in the grand scheme of things because of this team being bad. Now, if he's that good of a coach, we'll see. Because he doesn't have Drew Brees. He has a washed up, at this point, Russell Wilson. And I don't think that we're going to see a world where they're jumping the Kansas City Chiefs at this point. Maybe the Chargers. I don't know. We'll see. If Sean Payton took the job, no offense, but if he took like the Colts job where he could easily win the division, this may be some bravado, but you just stuck an unnecessary target on your back. And maybe he's not crazy, but I think right now he is for doing this.
He's insane. Let's save the next topic for next time because I feel like we're running out of time for fantasy draft.
Okay.
That's fair. So let's jump right into the fantasy draft. Aaron, tell us about our brand new people, okay?
Our brand new people. Oh, yeah, we got
Yes.
brand new people. Yeah. If you are a golfer or if you're a fashion person, which some of you are, you like a good polo in your life, you got to check out our new sponsor, Shank It Golf. ShankItGolf.com. You can use code AMDrive for 15% off your order. Or, of course, as always, MikeandAaronDrive.com. They're on the link tree. You just click the logo, and then you can shop until your heart's content. 15% off with code AMDrive. Awesome polos, awesome hats. Just check out the merch they got. They're expanding each and every week. So make sure that you get on board with Shank It Golf, our newest partners. We thank you guys so much. I ordered a polo from Shank It Golf, so we'll have to see what it looks like when it comes. Actually, it wasn't a polo; it was a T-shirt. We'll have to see what it looks like.
The tiger one? The tiger?
No, it's like a olive green, and it just says Shank It Golf, but it looks like a Margaritaville T-shirt, so it's really nice.
Oh, cool.
ShankItGolf.com, 15% off with code AMDrive.
Woo! Tremendously. Okay. Explain the draft, sir. Let's get into it.
All right, this week's fantasy draft. We were going to do, since we did last week, best sports figures named Michael. We were going to do Aaron, but there's just not that many of them.
Boom!
So we're going to go ahead and go with the best celebrities that go by, or sports figures that go by just one name.
Even if it's Aaron.
Even if it is Aaron. Now, I am going to preface this by saying you can vote for people who do technically go by two names, but when you say that name, there's only one person in the world you think of.
Oh, yeah. Oh, trust me. I know.
So I think I had pick, didn't I? Or I had first pick last time.
Yeah, because I was going to do it for Aaron, but never mind. Okay, so with the first pick in the Fantasy Draft Friday Best Celebs Athletes Known by One Name, I'm going to shock the world here.
You
I'm not going with, huh?
You might lose it already.
I'm not going with the guy you're thinking of. I'm going with the pandering to the people. Mike is hashtag pandering. Kobe Bryant.
That's your first pick?
Yes.
Wow, you left so many names on here. I don't know who to go with.
Oh, there's a lot of them.
All right, well, if we're going to let's stay in the sports realm.
Oh, for you, okay.
That way our first picks are at least sports related.
That's for
and
you.
I'll go with another one-name athlete that obviously you would only know when you say his name, and that's Tiger.
I like that. He was number 6 on my best 5, so he was right below who I wanted. So just let me know.
Fair. All right.
So you didn't steal anybody from me. God, now I want to go to the next guy, but I already got my basketball guy in there. Ooh. You know those chocolate candies?
Oh,
it's so good.
I'm going to take one off my list here.
But there's also a culture battle here, too. We're going with Marshall Mathers III, by the way, Eminem.
Eminem off the list. Wow, you are looking for some picks here.
Oh!
You want to pander to the people. I'm going to pander to the older people and some of the younger generation who appreciates good music here. And I'm going to go with not only a guy who was known by one name, but for a long stretch of time, that man was known by a symbol. And I'm going to go with the artist formerly known as Prince from number 2.
Oh, Jehovah's Witness. Thank you, sir, for that.
Shout out Jehovah and all the witnesses.
I mean, that might be the best moment in show history. That's bad. Okay, number 3. I'm just going to let you know I'm not going to go Elvis because now that you've taken Prince, I cannot do Elvis with my next one. Actually, that would look terrible on my part. So I'm going to go with Kobe Eminem. I'm going to add a person who has fallen off people's maps, even his own people's colors maps. This guy is still a musical giant. Kanye. Or Ye. Kanye West. You're right.
I don't know if Kanye counts.
It's Ye, Kanye. Ye.
He goes by Kanye West, though.
Watch your mouth.
And he does. I mean, when you talk about, I know that if you say Kanye, there's only one.
Oh.
But I don't know if he knows. Because
should I take him off then? I can do another one.
Well, I'll tell you this. I was going to put Denzel on my list.
I like that.
But I think he's Denzel Washington.
Right. I can think of this. I'll scratch Kanye out. Can I make another one then?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oprah.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
That was one on my list. And
good.
Maybe I should let you keep Kanye. This one, I have a direction I kind of want to go. There's 2 guys right here that I feel like can dictate which way mine's going to go, depending on who I pick. I'm going to go with a rocker that we all know. Worldwide, he is just he may be one of the most famous rockers of all time. He goes by one name. He's in a group with 2, one letter and one number. It's Bono, number 3.
Oh, I actually did not make my list because I didn't think he was that big.
Oh, he's huge.
Compared to my other list, are you kidding me? Kanye and
I don't even know his real name.
Oh, I forgot his real name. You can look it up if you want. I'll make my next pick.
I don't even care to know his real name. It's okay.
Well, it's calling you too.
I'm gonna call him Bono.
You know he's a good. I like his music. Their music, yeah.
Yeah.
So I got Kobe, Eminem.
I don't.
Wow, I'm surprised. Kobe, Eminem, Oprah. Give me. This is tough. Give me LeBron. Give me LeBron.
I'll give it to you.
That counts. Kobe counts. LeBron counts.
I think LeBron falls in Kanye. The only reason I think Kobe counts is because when you shoot something in
that's such a little. No one ever said that till a man died.
And he's dead too. If you want LeBron, that's fine. I think you've lost this draft, but that's fine.
Thanks.
Oh man, number 4. Oh, again, I feel like I have so many good names on the board. It's hard to leave off. Oh.
That's your 4th pick.
I feel like we can't leave off Elvis. I feel like it's a dagger to you if I just pick Elvis right now.
Okay. I mean, it's not going to kill me.
Elvis,
it is one name. It is one name for sure.
But he's always been Elvis Presley.
But what is the name you texted me, though?
I don't know. What did I
take
text
that
you?
one. I would take that one before Elvis.
Oh, Madonna?
Yeah.
I'm not taking her on principle. She can go walk into a knife.
Oh.
But I will take another more modern artist that may also just ruin your draft here.
Don't do it.
And I'm going to take the Queen Bee, and that's Beyonce.
Oh. Okay, so I was actually going to take Rihanna over her, but okay, cool.
Rihanna, I don't particularly like. I actually probably would say I'd like Rihanna's music over Beyonce's music. But as far as nationally widely known and icon, it's Beyonce.
It's Queen Bey. Okay. My final pick is going to be on my stacked lineup, by the way. I'm going to go with this is bad. I didn't think I was going to have more music people than sports people, but
Don't take my number 5. Come on.
this guy is Aubrey Drake Graham from Degrassi. Where's the Drake?
I was going to take him number 4, and I went with Beyonce instead. Damn it.
Oh.
I think Beyonce is way bigger than Drake, but you're right. Yes. Oh.
No, I didn't realize how much Drake has a lot of not just records and music, but like breaking records. Like he's like, oh my god,
Streaming records, which this is his era to do it, you know. But
Dude, Paul,
like McCartney.
Yeah,
but Paul, I didn't even know who you were talking about.
Oh, that's
like,
bad.
With this, like, he doesn't go by just Paul. Like Bono goes by Bono, Drake goes by Drake, Beyonce. Like you say Paul, and I'm like, I don't even know who the first person that comes to my mind is. Actually, honest with you.
You Shaq then?
No, I have guys. Here.
Sexist.
I'm gonna give you my 2 honorable mentions. First one is Elvis. Obviously, we've talked about him a few times. I don't know if he necessarily applies, but when you do say Elvis, you know who you're talking about. But he didn't go by Elvis. He went by Elvis Presley. So that I don't really qualifies.
And his music sucks, but go ahead.
Maybe so. My second one is obviously a lesser known. He's not the front man of a band, but he is one of the most famous guitarists of all time. Slash was an honorable. But this guy might be one of the most famous rockers of all time. You know him. I know him. He's a one-name masterpiece. Every step you take, every move you make, every breath.
Oh, that's smart.
My number 5 pick is Sting.
Yeah, that was a good. I was going to go with Flea, but I think Sting actually, he has the rights to like one of Juice WRLD's songs that like went super popular. It was like the same tune, like so he still makes money off that one song streams.
Same with he has the rights to "I'll Be Missing You" by Puff Daddy, who wrote the tribute to Notorious B.I.G. when he died, and Sting still makes revenue off of that one because it's "I'll Be Missing You" is the beat of every breath you take.
I'll tell you how big Sting is real quick before we go here. I believe he sang in an NBA All-Star game, which I did not realize NBA people were into him like that. So that blew my mind.
When was that?
I believe it was a few years ago. I remember seeing Sting like, that's Sting?
Interesting. Yep. I would have guessed if he sang an All-Star game, it was early 2000s.
No, this was like recently, like a halftime show that they do now.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean.
The Police!
The Police. Sting and the Police. Every little thing. All right, that's going to do it here for us. Enjoy your sports weekend, guys. Of course, we'll have those Fantasy Draft Friday graphics up for you to vote. We'll probably have them Monday, but but until then, guys, enjoy your sports weekend. You're right, Aaron Rodgers took that pay cut. Let's see what the Jets do with it. That's all that matters is what the Jets do with it, not that he took the pay cut. So there you go. It snuck into the show. For Michael Kravelis, I'm Aaron Crouch saying once again, enjoy your sports weekend, gamble responsibly, and as always,
drive safe, Thundercats.